Hello, Lisa.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Nat.
Hi.
Hey, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming in. So what I'll be doing is kind of asking some questions and seeing how I can help you out today. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Now, please, if there's any questions, there's no such thing as a bad question or a stupid question. Please ask me. And if I go too fast, which I tend to sometimes, just please stop me. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Okay. So what brings you in today?
So I'm a little nervous. This is my first time in therapy.
First time therapy? Okay.
Yeah. So recently I had a little injury. I hurt my hand, and it's causing me just some just anxiety. I'm a little like I don't know, just having a hard time dealing with that, and I've been smoking a little pot to help me through, and someone at work that I'm really close with just expressed a little bit of concern to me, kind of, said that I seem like I've been a little off, and I do feel a little bit off, so I'm not sure how this goes.
Okay. Well, I don't want you to be nervous. First and foremost, I mean, it's a beautiful day out, so we gotta have days like this are perfect. But so I don't want you to be nervous. I know it's a big step for you to come in here and talk to someone like me. So what kind of work do you do?
I'm a hairstylist.
Oh wow, my wife does the same exact thing.
Oh,
You
really?
would probably never think, but she does. That's actually really good work. I mean, you must be really creative.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Hmm.
So no, you had mentioned that you feel off. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, so I just feel this, just it's just extra stress. Sometimes when I go to work or when I try to do things, because of the injury, my hand just doesn't work the same way that it used to, and it's making me really worried. It's making me worried like about my future and what comes next. And sometimes I don't feel like I'm capable of going to work, and it's very scary to have that uncertainty.
So what kind of injury did you have?
I fell on ice and I
Oh, wow.
landed on my hand. So ever since then, I've had what the doctor was calling tendonitis. And so some days I'm okay. Some days I go to work and I do a lot of extra things, or I might have a really busy day and then my hand just hurts really badly. And
Okay.
sometimes I feel like I just can't do any extra stuff, or maybe I can't even go to work.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, basically your hand is your tool, like a carpenter has a hammer, and because your hand is not working to your expectations, you feel you're stressing out at work.
Mm-hmm.
And would you say that you're using marijuana as a ways of coping with the stress?
Yeah, I would say so. Like, it's something that I would do every once in a while for years, but lately I think I've been using it more, and it's kind of my way of relaxing and escaping, because I just I'm stressed out and I don't really have a lot of other ways to help.
Okay. Well, we'll circle back to that, but I'm gonna ask you some questions, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You might win $1 million.
All right, that would be great.
What's today's date?
Today is March 11th, 2020.
Okay. What city are we in?
We're in Baltimore.
Good old B-more.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay. I'm gonna say 3 words, and then if you could please repeat them back, I'd appreciate it. So, ball, flag, and tree.
Ball, flag, and tree.
Okay, perfect. This is just the preliminary stuff. I know, the questions, but I try to make it as harmless as possible, not like an FBI interrogation.
I
Okay?
appreciate that.
Fair enough. So stress, which I can understand because you have to work with your hand, and if your hand's not working, so do you do color and things like that as well?
Mm-hmm, I do. Mm-hmm.
So that's very hard work. I commend you for it. I could never do it for sure. So anxiety, like on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your anxiety?
I mean, on a daily basis, I would say I probably stay about a steady 5, but there's definitely days that it's like an 8, I guess.
How does an 8 feel?
I feel like there's just something on my chest. I feel it. I feel it in there. I feel like that my heart, kind of feels like it's racing, and it's just like a feeling of overwhelm, I guess.
Okay, so it's like loud in your head, but it's like most like a pain in your chest.
Yeah, yeah, it just
Okay.
feels like a heaviness.
Okay, is it enough that your patients may notice?
Um, I'm concerned about that. Like, no one's said anything, but because of my coworker saying something, I'm concerned that it may be apparent to the people that I'm working with as well.
Okay. So you guys said you started smoking marijuana before, like, I think you said, I'm sorry, in college or?
Probably like late teens.
Did you graduate from college?
I didn't graduate from college. With cosmetology, it's more like a trade school.
So you went to a trade school?
Yes.
Okay. Which is just, if anything, harder, you know? It's hard to find people that actually, do crafts and things like that these days, tools of the trade. It's neat. How would you identify yourself? Female.
Yes, yeah, just female.
And your age?
I am 37.
37. Are you married?
No.
Sounds like someone's snoring in here. How much marijuana would you say you smoke every day? Like give me like an average day, like of what.
I guess when an average day, I don't like wake up and smoke it right away. I couldn't really necessarily tell you an exact amount, but I might smoke it like a few times throughout the day.
Okay.
Kind of. I try to only do it maybe at the end of the day, but every once in a while, if I'm having a day that there's a lot of pain or if there's a lot of anxiety, I might smoke maybe, just take like one or two kind of, hits before I, go out for my day, and I'm, kind of hoping that, I'm not just walking around, I'm not trying to walk around high or anything like that, but sometimes that just kind of takes the edge off.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you were kind of inebriated, how you have scissors in your hand, and that you were mentioning that you're scared that you're not performing at work. I'm just questioning how that affects your job as far as performance wise, if you're inebriated.
Mm-hmm.
Have you felt like you zoned out a little bit, like when you're at work?
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I have a hard time concentrating.
Okay. Now tell me about your family.
Yeah, so my parents are divorced. They've been divorced since I was probably about 7. My mom has been remarried since maybe 2 years after that, and they've been married for a very long time now, and that's a good relationship. They're solid. My dad has been remarried twice since then. He's divorced, and now he's a bachelor, and but I'm close with my family, and I have one sister.
One sister?
Mm-hmm.
How's your relationship with your sister?
My relationship with my sister we've always been best friends, but she has had a period of opiate abuse and dependence, and kind of has worked her way through that, and that's been a bumpy road.
So you've had to kind of go along with the whole opiate, her abusing opioids and things like that.
Yeah, that's been a really difficult thing.
Yeah, I'm sure it has. Has anybody else in your family, is there a history of drugs in your family, of addiction?
Yeah, so my mom's brother had a history of addiction, and alcohol, and then my dad's brother also has had a history of drugs and alcohol, and my mom's dad was an alcoholic.
Okay, so there's a history there. So you see some of the destruction that, especially with your sister, I know that can be hard. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of patients that I see have loved ones that suffer with the opioid crisis. How would you feel your life would be without the marijuana right now? Or let's say we just took it away and just.
I would love to be able to do that. I feel like I don't know what else to do. Like some days that's the only thing that helps me, and I don't think that I have something else that can help me as well as that. But
Okay.
I would like to explore that. I would like to learn those things.
So would you say would you say that it's a healthy coping mechanism using marijuana?
I mean, I'm sure it's not healthy.
Well, it's how you feel about it. You know, there's no wrong or right answer. So it's how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
I mean, you say you do hair. I mean, do you do any art like that? Do you do yoga or anything like that?
I do. Because of my injury, I haven't been able to do them quite as much. So
Mm-hmm.
that does take away from it. The use of my hand, I kind of have to pick and choose. Some days, am I gonna go to work and do hair, or am I gonna do art? Because sometimes I can't do both.
Right.
The yoga does help with stretching, but some days also, you can't put the weight on it, or so it's a little hard to use that completely as a coping mechanism because it doesn't always work.
So you're saying basically like so when you're using your hand, you have so much that you could use,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't cash out.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But you can hold that joint though, right?
Okay. Good point.
Yeah. Okay, but when we visit that, we'll find some other ways. I just kind of wanted to get an idea, get some questions. Any suicidal thoughts or anything like that?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Hasn't really gone quite that far.
Um, that far. So, what would that far be?
Um, I mean, I think everybody has those type of thoughts sometimes a little bit, but nothing that I would take seriously.
Okay.
Nothing that like not, um, I'm not in danger of that, I guess.
How do you feel? Do you feel like you have a support system? Like, do you go to church or spiritual?
I don't go to church or anything like that. I mean, I have friends. I don't really have, any type of spiritual background though.
Okay. So you said you have a good connections with people and good support system.
Yeah, I have a few good friends.
Do they smoke marijuana as well?
Yes, they do.
They do.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been arrested or?
No, I've never been arrested.
Okay. Have any of your friends or anybody in the family?
I've never been around any of it. I do have some people in my social circle that have been arrested for DUI or things like that in the past.
So from substance, okay. Okay. All right. So what I'd like to do, first of all, do you have any other questions?
No, I don't think so. Not yet.
Okay. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to schedule a time for you to come back and we can kind of put together a plan. There seems like, there's some anxiety there, you're looking for ways to cope. But I think, especially with your creativity, that we can find, I guess, healthier ways of coping.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you. I'd like that.
Okay, great. Pleasure meeting you.
Yeah,
I'll see you.
thank you.
Alright, so Lisa, my wife, Borat. Lisa is 37 years old, white female. Said she is female. Currently, her problem is that she's suffering from anxiety due to an injury from, she looks like she fell on some ice and hurt her hand, and because she hurt her hand, she can't perform as good as at work, and it's causing her major anxiety, and she's been smoking marijuana, and it seems like that's about it. But there is a history of addiction in her family. Her sister was, on opioids. Her dad looks like there's a divorce with their parents. Her dad's been remarried 2 times, and the mom's married once, and from what Lisa was saying, it's a good relationship with her mom. So it'd be good to find out digging deeper to see what's going on with the family history. But she says it has started to affect her work. She's trying to find different ways to be able to cope. I think Lisa is very, very creative. She seemed very attentive, active listening. But in active listening, she shows signs that she does want to stop smoking because she did express that some of her friends did get into trouble from DUIs, what have you. But from one thing, it seems like she's very career driven, and using and for her not to be able to do her career due to her hand injury is causing her distress. So there's another time scheduled for her to come back, so we can put together a treatment plan where we can find better coping skills and find better ways for her to cope with the anxiety that she has, and hopefully she'll be able to heal from her injury. And that she wasn't spiritual, not married. And that's it.